So thank you for coming to the Moment Rediscovered. I appreciate it. So this is Keston from the Material Bar.
Good job.
Got it, all right. Robert from American Standard Restoration, and Juan from Farmers Insurance. Let's kind of dive in, and then I'm gonna ask questions, and then everybody just kind of chime in and talk. There's no like rhyme or reason to it. Just kind of we'll have normal conversation. Just kind of keep it flowing.
Okay.
So whatever feels good, whatever feels right, let's go that way. All right. So what was the defining moment in your journey, and how did it shape your approach to every challenge?
It was actually not too long ago. So I'm in year 6 of business, and last year in September, it was just extremely overwhelming. I mean, bottleneck, everything, you feel like you got to touch everything. And in that moment, my team actually took over and was like, hey, we're going to reorganize some things here. We need to put a separation between you and everybody because everybody's just coming to you. And they really went for that. And then from there, we started implementing processes. And all of a sudden, I kind of pulled myself back to be more focused on other things, right, within the company. And the team was just thriving. So I realized, and there's a really, really cool video it's like a reel from Marcus Lemonis. I love that guy. And he basically talks about how, you are like the trainer and the coach to your team. And once I realized that, it was like everything changed in business for me in the sense of like, I'm not the quarterback here, or maybe I started as the quarterback, but now I'm moving more into a coaching role. And then seeing them thrive, that was a really, really cool defining moment. So like ever since then, I view our business completely different.
Yeah, that's hard though. It's hard to give up the reins.
It's very
It's
hard.
really hard to they say micromanage. I'm like, quit micromanaging me. I'm like, okay, but we can do it better this way. It's like trying to give everything. It's okay, we'll do it your way, but my way's better. It's just that's hard for me. I have a super hard time doing that. Like, I'll be at a job site, like, no, we can do it this way. Mm-hmm. No, well, I want to do it this way. No, but I have to give that up.
Or maybe just coaching.
Try to change it.
Keep coaching. Just keep coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, when I hear the question, I don't know if this would be technically the right answer, but it's just what keeps ringing in my head. When I was about 2 years, we're on year 6 as well. When I was about 2 years into business, I was on top of the world. I was winning. Everything I touched turned to gold. I was selling everything. We were growing rapidly. We went from, me and my mom legitimately to probably 15, 20 employees, buildings. It was insane. And I just felt like I couldn't lose. And I'm originally from Anaheim, California. All my family's down there. I moved up here with, not knowing anybody or anything like that when my son was born. And I wanted desperately for my kids and my wife to be a part of my family in Southern California. So I decided I was going to branch out and start a branch of my company there. To me, it seemed, like I said, everything I was even thought about doing was working for a long time. And so I thought this wouldn't be any different. And so I rented a space, I bought a couple vans, I hired some guys. I went down there and, did everything the right way. But I felt like I was kind of forcing it, a little bit. It didn't come as easy. It's hard to explain, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out. I didn't think that'd be hurting for work there, and we definitely were. So for about 10 months, I tried and I tried and I tried, and I finally just had to call it quits and say, hey man, I lost, And for me, that was a huge moment in business because I hadn't experienced that before. It was a humbling moment. And yeah, it's one of those things where, I had to kind of come back to wash it with my tail between my legs, tell my family, hey, I got to pull the plug on this. I lost, I lost money, lost time, and it didn't work. And since then, at the time, for the months following, I was really down in the dumps. I didn't think it was a positive thing. But since then, I've had a different approach to, my business dealings, my decision making, and whatever it is I decide to do, whether it's grow, whether it's downsize, move people around. And I'm just a lot less reckless. I've, been humbled in a certain way where I'm like, hey, there's it might not work, you know, and I kind of pick things apart and plan a lot better, and put a lot more thought into my stuff. And since then, all's well. You know, we haven't done, but I'd say that is definitely the most pivotal moment in my career.
Yeah, making that decision to walk away from something's hard. I've done it a couple of times. I've had a few businesses fail and branches fail, and I've scaled up to like 35 employees, back down to 10, 30, back down to 5. You know, like I've done it a couple of times. Last year we had like 30 something at the height of it, and at the beginning of the year, I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. I was super stressed. You know, just didn't want to deal with it. You know, I quit drinking, so it was like, I can't do this. My excuse was to drink was the stress, you know, but it wasn't what it fixed anything, right? Mm-hmm. And actually, it's kind of funny enough that we're in Silicon, because the last time I did it, I was working a job right down the street, and I had this huge job, dude. I was just so stressed. I was drinking a half a gallon a day, and I was there drinking, like on the job site drinking, because I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I had like 30-something guys, dude. I'm like, I made no money that year. I did really good, like numbers-wise, top line, made no money, and I was like, where's it all going? Like people just weren't doing what we're supposed to. We'll go look for a guy that's missing. Like I had one guy that was supposed to be a job in Puyallup, was getting gas in Seattle. Like, what are you guys doing? You know, charges on his car for weird stuff, you know, I don't want to talk about, but like just, you know, weird, but it's like, yeah, that's not working. So I lost, you know. It's just hard as a man, as a person in business, like, sorry, we're done, dude. You know, it didn't work. You know, it's hard to take that fail and like keep going afterwards though, because I just keep going, you know, just keep on trucking, you know.
So ironically, you're 6 in business also.
Funny.
Yeah, April 1st will be 7, so it's weird that it all worked out for the devil. 666.
There you go.
So for me, it was kind of like you were talking about, just taking on too much. So I look at the insurance industry and I think, man, it has a really bad name. Everyone hates it. Everyone's required to have it, which makes it even more resentful, right? And then I'm sitting out here trying to fight the good fight and be like, that's not what this is. That's not what insurance is about. There's a different way to look at it. There's a way to present it and a way to not present it. And so then I dipped my hand into everything. So I branched into every line of insurance I could get my hands into. And last year, I decided I need to stop. So I hired somebody to take on the day-to-day tasks of areas that I didn't want to do anymore, which kind of falls in line with what you were saying. Get that off my plate, delegate that down, and now I just focus on the main parts that I want to work on. And I don't do like health insurance. I refuse. Absolutely not. The system is broken and I won't do it. I do very little supplemental health insurance for businesses anymore because it's just too much. I outsourced that to somebody else. And I think that took a lot because I was so like gung-ho to change everything. And then I was coming home and just hating every day. And my wife was like, you need to get on meds. I was like, I'm not going to get on meds, but I am going to figure out how to pull back on the business. So
yeah, talk about, you know, doing stuff that fills your cup instead of doing stuff that drains you, you know, because like, you know, like everybody, we all tried expanding, doing more stuff. You know, I was asked if we do new construction. No, you know, but it's like stay in my lane a little bit, you know, and like figure out what makes me money as a business, what makes you happy, what I enjoy doing, and just go do that. Because then it's not really feel like you're really going to work every day. You actually get to enjoy what you're doing. Like I was cutting down trees yesterday. I haven't been in the field in years, dude. I was sweating my ass off. It was terrible. I had sawdust in my face. I was dirty as heck, dude. And I was like, oh, this is fun though. Most fun I had in a long time. Doing demo, all that kind of stuff. It was just stuff I like to do. I said I've been out for so long. I just ended up doing anything that makes me happy, you know, work-wise, right? So it's like actually going to put some pipe in the walls and actually doing some stuff, setting shower valves. Like, you know, for me, that's what I like to do, you know. So this year, revisited like what makes me happy and like what makes me want to get up and actually go to work and not be working, you know. It's just actually fun to be here, you know, and try to like excite everybody too. Like, want everybody to be excited to come to work and not just, oh, I gotta go to work. This sucks, you know. Like, let's have some fun, dude. Let's get some music cranked up. Let's have a good time, you know. Yeah. And it's like if you're going to sell them, you know, insurance that no one wants. I don't like healthcare. I'm not going to deal with this crap, you know. Like they're not going to be happy. And then you can see it in your face too. Like, oh yeah, you can see it when you're talking to somebody. You're selling something you don't want to sell, or you're doing something you don't want to do. You can tell. Like if you don't like your job, I notice it right away. Yeah. Like I know when you go to your shop, you love to do design. You love kitchen and bathroom design. I just know. I can tell every time you talk about it, you get excited. Yeah. You know, so it's like you can see that. When you don't like it, it's like, hell no, I'm not doing this. Yeah. Like I'm going to shop with that guy. That guy's pissed. You know, there's no way. You know.
Mine was, it was actually really hard for me to pull back on the front end because I enjoy it so much. Like I truly went into business and was like, I just love working with people and helping them make the right decisions and not like spend all this money and then have regrets afterwards. But as you grow, it was just getting harder and harder and more challenging to give the clients that I had all the attention that they needed. And then the minute we changed things, and it wasn't like from one day to another, right? It takes months to like finish up the projects that are on my desk. I'm still working through like a handful. But then putting more effort and time into my team and like really like coaching them. And then one of the coolest parts was like when a client walked in and I didn't know them. And then Gianna got up, Gianna was like their salesperson, and they're just like having fun, having a good conversation. It's like, wow, look at them building like their own relationship and I'm not even a part of it, you know? And that, it made me really proud and it made me really happy for her and like to see them thrive. And so then I understood that I have a lot of positive coming back to me from kind of empowering my team, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's called servant leadership.
Yeah.
So it's when you really dive in and try to make your employees or your people the best they could possibly be. Like I get super frustrated because I feel like sometimes I care more about people finances and them being successful than they do sometimes. I get like super like that. I'm like, come on, dude, I just want you to buy a house. Like, why are you renting that? Why are you buying money? Why are you spending on this stupid thing instead of fixing this? Like, it's not my problem. It's not my goal. I have nothing to do with it. But it's like being a servant leader, you know, like you really want to help your people like be the best they can possibly be.
Yeah.
And you want to train them so they're going to be the best employee. And if they leave, they leave, right? Someone's going to leave no matter what. I just have super bad anxiety about people leaving, people quitting. Oh my gosh, why would I invest in that person? They're just going to leave anyway, you know? But no, like the more you invest into people and the more you invest in that relationship, the more they want to stay. And then happy they are too. You see it, dude. Like it's the more you put in your people, actually the more happy they actually are to be here.
Yeah.
And then the harder they work, and it's more fun. And it's more fun for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So how did you find strength in like your deepest, darkest times, like in your roughest days? Where'd you find your strength? How'd you get out of it? How'd you survive? How'd you come from the fires? You know, like
He makes it up. Somebody else go first.
Yeah.
So when I first bought my agency, I bought 2 different agencies that had a tenured 30-year agent, and I had never sold insurance a day in my life. So I just jumped in, and so I had clients calling me that had a previous agent that could do and answer any questions they wanted. And I was like, so someone would call. I was terrified for my phone to ring because I was like, I really don't know the answers to these questions. And so they'd ask me questions and I'd have to be like, oh my God, my computer is so slow right now. Can I call you back? And I'd have to go find the answer.
Oh, that's actually a good answer.
And then I'd call them back.
I'm feeling that, dude.
Yeah. And then I'd call them back and I'd be like, hey, sorry, my systems are finally running. What can I do? What was your question again? And they'd ask me and then I'd answer as if I knew the answer off the top of my head because that's what they had before. So they needed to have confidence in me. So I had to confidently answer the question. And I did that for 2.5 years, just Googling and reading policy jackets and figuring out what insurance was and what it wasn't. And I got to a point where I was just trying to survive. I was treading water. There's not a lot of support from other agents. You'd think we're all the same brand, but they're an independent contractor. I'm an independent contractor. They're running their business, so they don't, they're not going to help me.
Right.
And I definitely come from a background where I've always been in high level sales, high pressure sales, but we've always had a mentor. Someone was performing well, we could go to them and get support and figure out what their best practices were, try to implement them in our way. And then, what is it? Rising tides lifts all boats. That's my mentality. But in the insurance world, that's not what it is. We are on an island, on your own, good luck. And there's so much to it. So for like 2.5 years, I drowned. And I told my wife at like year 2.5, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't. I'm drowning. I literally dread the drive to work. This is awful. And she was like, yeah, but you're good at it. You're passionate about it. The way you talk about it when it's not super stressful, it seems like something you want to continue down the road with, was really the reason I even did it. Mm-hmm. And this is the only way it made it out was because my wife had my back 100%. She was like, nope, you're going to do it. You're going to buy this agency. She's the one that pushed me to do it and jump out of my previous career. And So I leaned on family. That's what it was. They're the ones that got me through it.
Wow.
What about you?
Man, so
I see it turning over there.
yeah. Same, man. For me, it's my family. I grew up not having much of anything at all. And, it wasn't even just poor. It was just we had a huge family and, everybody worked, but it was just, sometimes couldn't even make rent, right, type of thing. And so we lived paycheck to paycheck, this is an understatement. We were pretty poor, and there was a lot of us. And between my cousins and my brothers and sisters and all that good stuff. So why I tell you that is because I didn't need much to get on or to feel content, with myself. If I didn't really have a taste for nice cars or nice houses or fancy clothes or whatever. None of that stuff really did it for me. So when it was time to be anything but a subpar human being, I had to look to other people. I didn't have the value in self to say, all right, I'm going to get up and go be a winner. And so for me, it was my wife. I met my wife. She was a high caliber individual, way out of my league, if I can be blunt. And I thought, man, if I have any chance of keeping my wife, and then I'm going to have to be something, So that was the first person I met that actually kind of, spurred the horse for me a little bit, where I woke up and I said, okay, I'm doing it for somebody else now. It's the first person that was important enough for me to get up every day, look a certain way, sound a certain way, train myself, all that good stuff, because I just didn't have it. Wasn't taught it, had no example of anything like that. My family's super blue collar, to say the least. And yeah, no overachievers. Clock in, clock out, drink beer, go to sleep. That was my family. And so I had no example of anything. I kind of came up with it on my own. But I guess to answer the question, then it was my kids. When my kids were born, I ended up moving to Washington because our life in California was no good, and my wife, then fiance, got pregnant with my son. The day she told me she was pregnant, I made phone calls, I called up here, rented a house, packed all my stuff up, and I was in Washington in 2 weeks. Never moving into a house I'd never seen. Working, I had a job already lined up. I did it all before I came here, but for me it was, I'd never been outside of Southern California, so for me it was a whole new world. I was completely alone, and I came out here all for my kids and my wife, and that is still today what gets me through the darkest, times. And I still have them, that sometimes you talk about, how'd you get through the dark times? And it's like, well, what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I woke up this morning.
Yeah,
You told me I had to be here, and I already said
Yeah,
yes.
man.
I wasn't trying to get out of my bed.
So I just decided that I'm going to do it for them. I live my life for my kids and my wife, and what? It's funny you talk about refilling the cup. I made some notes, and that's what I said. I said you can't give what you don't have. So refilling your cup is important before you can pour it out for others in your business, whatever. So for me, I watch Dance Moms with my daughter, and that refills the cup. I watch football, play video games with my son, that refills the cup. And it truly, sometimes I've, just to be blunt and honest, if that's what this is about, I've spent countless hours with my head on my wife's shoulder just saying, dude, I'm done. I don't got anything left to give. I can't do it. It's not working, whatever. But I don't stay down for long. All I got to do is look around my house and spend some time with my kids and my wife, and we're back at it, One of my favorite quotes is, don't let the storm get your kids wet. And I live by that, tell myself that every day.
That's really good.
So, yeah.
So, how to find motivation in the deepest,
Yeah, the darkest times,
moments.
Yeah.
That's the question. Well, my close people know, but I went through a really tough divorce, and it was like, man, that was a tough divorce. I never thought that it was going to be that extreme, just going through business, trying to protect everything that you've built for so long, and then having to work through real estate and all that stuff. And then again, it's like always everything is so different here compared to where I grew up, sometimes I don't understand the system and what's happening. And before you know it, it's like, wow, you're just like with a lawyer and so much money. And I don't know. I think my divorce, like lawyer fees in the end were like almost $90,000 or something like
gosh.
that. Yeah, in 1.5 years. And that's not even like all the other, real estate associated costs. But so it got really, really, really dark during that time. And I just have a really good support system. Stephanie, who's one of your clients, she's like my sister, and I'm so grateful that I have her. Probably wouldn't have made it without her. And then my mom is like super spiritual. She's over on the East Coast, and I call her like almost every day. We call her like our family therapist. First thing she'll tell you is to go hug a tree. Next on the list is drink some lemon water. And then, all right, let's move on. Now, what do we need to get done, right? And then so she'll get me back on track. And then I've been working with Alan, our business coach, and he was really, really important during that time to like keep a positive mindset. And then that was for me when nobody was watching during that time. But then when it comes to work, and I don't know if that's like a German thing, but when it's time to go to work, we just go to work. And you leave everything behind and you focus on work in that moment. And that's just how I grew up and how it was. And it gave me like a purpose to like get up in the morning and go to work, because you got to show up for these people. These people are loving their job. They're loving what they're doing. And I can't stand in the way of that. So if I need to get my act together and move, then I'm going to show up every single day. And for the longest time, they had no idea. It was till the very end, until it was pretty much like done. Like I'm like 95% done. I mean, I've been divorced, but still like property and stuff. But they didn't even like know for the longest time, like to the extent and everything. But yeah, just having a really, really good support system and knowing who to call when, because you kind of know your people and you know who's going to give you what answer. Am I in the mood for that answer?
Yeah, suck it
Yeah,
up. No, I need something else. I need something else today.
Everybody knows how to talk to you. So just reaching out to those people, it's important that you reach out. That's important, because some people don't know how to reach out,
Yeah, it can be hard. It's hard when you are at the top and you have no one to talk to. And it's hard to talk to your employees and try to express how you feel, because like I've tried to talk to my employees sometimes and like, wow, you're a mess. Like, and you're running the company. Like it's scary, but like, cause I lean on my kids. I've been trying to spend more time. I coach my son's football, so I get to spend time with him every day. And like, I took my daughter to school this morning and I just embarrassed the crap out of her, dude. Turn the music up super loud. I rolled the windows down. I was like,
so fun.
This is Riley Bauer's favorite song, everybody. And she's like, shut up, Dad, shut up. And she's trying to turn it down, and I'm obnoxious, dude. So I'm honking the horn the whole time. Everybody's laughing, But it's like something like that, that makes me feel good. Because like, about almost a year ago, actually, in like a week, it'll be a year. I guess this time last year, dude, I was sitting in my room, my living room, as I was drinking. I had quit drinking for 6 to 8 weeks, and then I found out I lost $219,000, and I couldn't figure out how to get it back. And like, it was a clerical error through my QuickBooks, all this stuff, my bank, and they're trying to give the money to access to the money the guy that stole from me. And so like, I was like, I gotta shut the company down. I don't have any money to pay the bills. I maxed out every single one of my credit cards to keep it going for a couple weeks. I'm like, I'm at the end, dude. I have no money left. I maxed everything out. I drank for like 5 days straight. Just no food, no nothing. My family walked by me like I was a homeless person on the street. They didn't even talk to me for a whole week. And I finally called buddies like, I need help, dude. I need to get sober. So I got almost a year of sobriety. Like next week will be a year of sobriety.
Congrats.
But it's like leaning on my family, leaning on my friends, dude. Like, sometimes you gotta call something. And the guy that actually got me sober, I didn't weren't really that good of friends. It was just, I know he was sober and he talked to me about being sober before. And I'm like, I need some help, dude. I need someone that's not my friend to help me get sober. I need someone to tell me to man up. And like, that's not one of my friends I can schmooze and like talk out of it. Or, hey, let's go to the bar. Like, I'll get sober next week. No, I need someone to like help me,
Yeah.
And sometimes, you need that, in business, and you need that person. Like I have one of my best friends, dude. I told you he was my spiritual advisor. So I was just in his wedding. He's the son that got shot, right? And so his son got shot Friday. He got married Sunday. I was the best man at his wedding, And then, so I told him he's my spiritual advisor, though, because I'll call him like, dude, I need some help. And so like, so I'm through it, but he gives me the straight truth. There's no like,
You need those people.
yeah, it's no like butter up. It's no like, that other buddies I'll call and they'll tell me what I want to hear.
Yeah.
You know, cause like, or I'll ask one of my employees, they're like, of course I'm paying their, you know, I'm signing the check. They're going to tell what they want or what I want to hear, you know, but sometimes you need that person to tell you, like, suck it up, dude, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
who cares? Like, I failed so many times. Like, I never thought about how many times I failed until the other day. And I was like, I've had more failures in business than success. And it's just, you gotta learn from it, dude. Like, you gotta suck up and go move on. Like, that didn't work, who cares? Like, what's worrying about it now gonna take care of anything? Like, why are you gonna worry about that? Like, what, who, you know,
Yeah.
it didn't work. Oh, well, move on, go
But you
somewhere else.
tried it, you know.
Yeah.
Same with you. Like, at least you figured out that I gave it a shot and it didn't work. Maybe I really want to focus on this area. Otherwise, it'd
Well,
still be bugging you and you're still thinking about it, you know.
Yeah, one of the best things I ever heard was someone said, I'm an entrepreneur because I'm too stupid to quit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, I'm just gonna keep going, dude. Like, if something happens, whatever, let's go do something else. Pound your head against the wall until it moves.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep going, you know. I mean,
Well,
yeah, I'm just gonna keep going, dude.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's those dark days. They suck, but they come, they go.
They're
You know,
there.
like I
They're
have my
part
wife
of
and
it.
kids, dude. Like we've been together almost like 17 years. You know, like just full honesty, like we're fighting this morning. Last night she slept on the couch. You know, like things happen, dude. Like we've been together 17 years. It'll be fine. You know, it'll be fine tomorrow. You
Yeah,
know.
but then I seen a video the other day which you guys have all the flashy lights in the kitchen and she's like
Oh, see,
dancing
that's what I'm
away.
saying.
and stuff.
It's like goldfish. You know,
Yeah,
just
it's
forget
like-
about it. Like, come back later tonight. We're good. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, so by myself.
Oh, great.
100% by myself. so I'll be good. She'll miss me by the time I get home if I make it home. You know, she'll be like, oh, I guess you got stuck. You know, but you know, that's sometimes what happens. You know, it's hard. Like, you know, I don't know you guys, but like, you know, my family gets the worst of it too. When it's a bad day and I feel like such a jerk afterwards. I'll do something or say something like, why'd you just take it out on them? You know, and it's like, it's hard, you know, because like sometimes like they get the blunt of all of it, you know, makes it rough.
You know, Alan, one time when I was like just really down in the dumps and my mindset was just horrible, he one time said something to me that I will never forget, and it really hit home. He was like, well, first of all, like people don't openly go out and talk about, you know, oh my God, I failed at this. Oh my God, I failed at this, you know, because you don't want to like put that out there, right? So even on social media, go out there and you don't see that a lot. But he said, Kirsten, do you think you're going to just grow your business and like become such a strong powerhouse in your industry and you're not going to have a war story? And I was like, of course, you may have some kind of story of how hard it was or hard times, how you worked through it. It's like, it's just part of it,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, you mentioned social media. You know, I have to remind my kids this and I have to remind myself. Instagram is someone's highlight reel.
Oh, yeah.
So you're posting the best time of your day.
Of
your life is on Instagram. That is not
Yeah.
real life.
Yeah.
I tell my daughter all the time, that's not how people really live. That's not
Well, yeah.
not their day.
Especially
That's not their
teenage
whole
girls.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst. You know, they're terrible. You know, but I have to tell myself that too. You know, like I actually know this social media influencer guy, and he is such full of shit, dude. And I know, because I know him personally. I was like, you're a lying sack of shit, dude. Nothing you post is real.
Uh-huh.
You're so fake, you know. But it's like, whatever, dude. I just watch the show. You know, I'm here to watch it. It's fun, you know. But just knowing it's a little different, you know.
Yeah.
What mistakes did you make early on that helped kind of shape your journey? Then valuable lessons did you learn?
I would say is I didn't look up to the right people for advice, mentorship. So like, you know, I didn't. I need help in certain areas, and I would just ask. I'd stay down here when really I should have been talking to people up here that were successful in that industry or whatever it was that I was trying to achieve. And I'm very coach resistant because if you're not better than me, I won't listen to you. So, and I mean, in sales, I've been very successful in sales in my career. And so I told Alan when he was my coach, I said, look, if you're not better than me, I won't listen to you. And he told me about his business and how successful he was in his business. And I was like, well, that means you're better than me. So I'll listen to you now. And people ask me about coaching or mentorship all the time. And I said, that doesn't work for me, but you can talk to Alan because Alan changed perceptions. But also, being that resistant makes it very hard for me to be successful if I don't know how to do it myself. So I failed catastrophically throughout my entire career. It took me my last career, which was I was a store manager, having a conversation with the leadership that was above me that was coaching me how to be the next leader that I needed to be, and they were like, if you keep being this way, you're never going to succeed. You have to learn from other people. You have to grow. You have to be better than yourself, and you're never the best. Well, I said, well, I'm number one in the company and in the entire country. So I would say that that's false. And that's my attitude at all times. I'm better than you. So what can you tell me? So bringing myself back, and my wife, who was, I met my wife, she hired me, and she was in a relationship, and she actually mentored me up into management and leadership. So, learning from her what I needed to do to be better, which realistically is I can be better than you guys in sales. I can be. That doesn't mean that I'm the best in every area of sales, or I'm not the best in business. So partner with people that can teach me the things that I need to learn so that I can grow from their knowledge and their stumbling blocks. I think that's the biggest step that I missed, was getting to those people and figuring out who to listen to and not, filter out the bad noise, because that really was the killer for me. I was just if I was down in the pits, I'd call my buddy and we just complain and bitch and moan together. He'd be throwing a fit about his work and I'd throw a fit about my work, and we didn't get anything productive out of the whole conversation.
Well, it's hard though when you start is to learn or to know who to reach out to, because there's so many people, especially now on social media, that are a leader in the industry that try to sell you their program and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I see it all the time in mine. I see a bunch of people that post up, oh yeah, sign up for my stuff and I'll teach you how to be the best plumbing company around. I'll teach you how to do the best this, teach you the best that. It's like, how do you find the right one? And because it's hard. That's my biggest mistake, was not getting a mentor. I didn't have anybody. I started. Mine was because I almost got forced into being a business owner. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to be a business owner. I just started doing jobs. People kept calling, and I just got busy. I started having to start hiring people. But it's like, how do you know who to find? Because there's so many fake influencers, so many fake stuff out there. I've also wasted a bunch of money on fake stuff. So it's kind of hard to do. But I've had, the big thing is leaning on somebody and finding someone that's bigger. There's a. I wish I would have thought about this before, but there's a phrase, and it's choose your enemy wisely. So, choose your enemy wisely. You mean you don't fight someone lesser than you. You fight someone higher than you because you want to take their position, right? So you find that guy in business, that company to go after. I want to be bigger than Southwest or Beacon or whatever. That was my goal when I first started. Those are the two top companies you think about with plumbing in the Seattle area. Who do you think about, Beacon or Southwest? Mm-hmm. Yep, that's what I'm going for. That's my target. So there's a target on their back for me, and I'm going after that. You don't aim for the dude that's got one truck and is barely making it.
That's right.
So it's that's a big thing is with the business is figure out who do you want to be, how did they get there, and what are the steps they took.
Yeah.
And find a mentor. But like I said, there's so many fake ones. It's how do you judge? I mean, for your industry, how do you, your industry's huge. How do you figure the fake from the good ones? There's got to be, for you, there's got to be a ton of people that, buy this system. I'll teach you how to be the best mitigation company around,
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on. I'm not, it's not my strong suit looking good on, social media or whatever. I'm pretty raw on there, and I don't, I don't do a good job at promoting my company. I should probably hire somebody to do that. But getting on there and looking at some of these other people, it's I know everybody in the industry. Okay? I've been doing this since I don't even know if I was 18 years old when I started, and I know everybody. I've met everybody. I've worked everywhere, and I was a part of growing a lot of those companies before I decided, hey, man, what am I doing? I'm going to do this on my own. So I know all these guys, and that's just like you were talking about the guy earlier, the influencer. It's constantly pushing out content. You're like, dude, you don't live like that. It's the same thing for me. It's I know that my competitors don't hold a candle to me and my team, but I don't know how to show the world that, right? And so we deal with it a lot because everybody looks so good on social media. Everybody looks so good on online. I don't know where else, at the trade shows, at the this and the that. And I haven't mastered that part of business yet, but once I do and I figure out how, I've worked with all these guys. I know how they live. I know how they work. I know what their job sites look like. And I know we do a better job.
Well, it's hard sometimes because it's they put on that, this is the perfect version of what could have happened.
Yeah.
That's not real life.
Yeah.
That's 1 out of 100 jobs go that way. 1 out of 100 jobs is perfect. 1 out of 100 jobs goes flawlessly. You know, like when you order materials, stuff doesn't always show up on time. Like we've had an order of a tub and shower surround that got canceled. We ordered it, got canceled right away, and we didn't know about it. So 2 weeks later, we're waiting for it. Oh, no, we canceled it right away. We didn't know. Ordered again, it comes in broken. Now I'm on the third one, and this is actually for my receptionist's parents. So it makes it worse. Now it's like you see now firsthand how messed up it really be. It's nothing we did, but it's like, but as a company, you're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how we ordered it. It came in today. We installed it today. Your shower's done in 1 whole day. Your whole bathroom's remodeled 1 day. You know, like they got those people with 1 bathroom 1 day. What kind of thing? Like, no, that doesn't happen. You're not going to get, you know, per world. You call for mitigation. He has a leak. It's 3 months before the house is getting done. Like, by the time we deal with, you know, those guys.
Yeah.
No, but you know,
The restoration company for sure. Yeah, 100%.
you know, yeah, but it's not the whole process. But they want to put this whole fake thing out there that makes us everybody look bad. You know, because it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
You know,
That's for sure.
You know, it's funny, like, I've always wanted to be in business, and for a long time, I just didn't know for what. And when I was in Germany, I studied for business, and then I worked at a like a higher-end retail store. It's very similar to like a Nordstrom, and learned that business. And I was like, Mom, I'm just gonna go in business. I'm just gonna do like a retail store. Then, you know, life happens, you move on. Then I'm in Savannah, Georgia, and then I kind of stumble into a countertop fabrication store, and then I'm like learning all of that. I'm very eager to learn, always learning. And then I'm like, man, I kind of like this industry. Then I come over here and worked for a design build for a year, and then immediately, like within that year, got my first experience on cabinetry, and was like, that's the one. Like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna like become the best in the cabinet world, and then went for it. But I have like a immense drive, and sometimes it's like red shiny ball, you know, you're like very entrepreneurial. I'm like, oh man, I see a business opportunity right there. I see a business opportunity right there. Oh man, I could do, oh wow. And before you know it, you got like 10 businesses, and then all of a sudden it's like you lose focus, you know? And that's something that I always had to like wheel myself back into. And again, good support system. They'll keep it straight with you. Like, Kirsten, you're running out there. You're not paying attention where you're supposed to be, you know? So, and sometimes it's good. I mean, I love real estate. I do a lot of real estate, right? And I mean, it's done really great. And now we are in our own building. I mean, that's really cool. But I could tell recently I've been on this crazy kick of, oh, I'm going to build like new construction, like multi-units. And went out, got a mentor, got this. I'm like, I'm learning. And I was even under contract. And I'm like, wow, somebody hire, let that contract fall or terminate, because, and then here's my best friend, like, you know, maybe we just need to wheel it in just a little bit, you know?
I get super focused. I'm like, oh, it's a good idea. But why did that person walk away from that house? Why is it on the market? Why is it back on the market? You know, I think as an entrepreneur, all of us have this crazy thirst for knowledge and wanting to be the best. And then, like you said, the shiny ball, like, ooh, what's that? Ooh, let me do that.
Or like, you know, every business struggles. Every single one has its struggles. Some of them have the same struggles, right? Employees, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. But then you just get tired of it after a while. So then it's easy to be like, I'll just go do this.
I want something new.
I just want to go do this. I just want to, like, you know, I don't know, be a dog breeder or something. I feel like they wouldn't have no issues. I don't know, you know, people with puppies, you know. But yeah, then you just have to focus again. But every time I focused and like realigned, it's when the magic happens.
Yeah. So I want to ask one more question. So I had someone asked me the other day, what was next? And I was like super taken back. And I was thinking about that the whole day before this happened. And I went to one of my friends' 40th birthday parties and ran a bunch of guys I went to school with, and that, you know, follow me on social media, that kind of stuff. And one guy's like, what's next? I'm like, I have no idea. I was actually speechless for the first time in forever. I like to talk a lot. And I was like, I have no idea, you know? So what's next for you guys? What do you see yourself doing next? You know, that's not a shiny ball.
I haven't yet given up on the idea of, you know, that chapter in Southern California and being closer to my family. I'm a believer, and I pray afterwards. It's down in the dumps. I prayed. I said, God, why did you show me that door if there was nothing there for me? Why did everything start going? And I heard right away, I didn't open that door for you. You kicked it down, And I thought right away, and I thought about it for weeks. And I said, kicked it down. Yeah, no, I did. I forced that whole situation. It didn't work out. But now, very recently, my uncle owns a gigantic plumbing company down there, and we've been having some conversations about maybe some different things and retrying kind of what I failed at years ago. And I'm so much more equipped now. It's not even funny. I was, then I thought I knew what I was doing just because I was winning and it was great and growing and everything, but I truly didn't. And now, I think I can do it again. So I might give that another shot. But yeah, my goal is to have an American Standard restoration here in Washington, one in Southern California, and one in Idaho. Those are the areas that my family are in, and I want to employ my family and create opportunities and create generational wealth for my family, and that's my ultimate goal, and that's what's next, I think.
Yeah, I always had that, like kicking the door down. It's like that struggle between, do I try harder or do I stop and pivot and change, Because I always, like I said, my goal when I first started was Beacon or Southwest, beat them. And then I was like, well, maybe I should just buy a fourplex in every major city up down the I-5 corridor, go to Portland and go down there, and then go further south, and go up north past Seattle, and just expand up down the I-5 corridor. Like, I don't even know what would be next, for me. Like, I bought a junk removal company recently, just you're ready to start another company, and I'll talk about, a couple weeks, I'm gonna start another one, but whatever, just, but it's all like ancillary companies, the companies that benefit my company and stuff like help, so it's like I might as well own it and make some money off it, make mistakes and kick in the door down because I'm aggressive, dude. But what about you? What's next for you? What's your next step? What's your next, it doesn't have to be a business of life too, like what's your next, besides a new Harley?
Yeah, well, my son's gonna be 6, so I have to get a new Harley anyway because I want him to be able to ride with me, and I want him to be encased, so probably a road glide.
Okay.
Yeah. So next is making it to where, we don't have to look for where the next sale is coming from every day, right? So I'm successful, but I'm not at the level I want to be, and the only way for me to get there is to expand and create it to where I can get out of my business and do more stuff like this, right? Not be the primary seller to make my business function. Because if I don't sell, then business is not, it's not. So I'm working in, right? I'm a slave to it. So to get to a point where I need 2 people that I can start working on the business, pull myself back, train them up so that they can create the next group that comes in, create like a property and casualty side, a commercial side, a life side. So then I have my specialties, my specialists in those areas that I've trained on how to do it properly and work through. So my goal is to change people's perceptions on insurance, because it's all negative, always. And it doesn't have to be. It's not what it's for. And you talked about generational wealth. So everyone wants generational wealth. We all want our families to have it better than we did. I want to protect it. And insurance is the way to do it. And it's not talked about enough. So I'm going to get in more people's faces and through using platforms like this, right? Instead of talking one-to-one, I can talk to thousands or hundreds or whatever. They're billionaires. Why do they need life insurance? Because they know something we don't know, and we being the general population. So I'm going to make that public knowledge. And I'm doing some stupid TikTok video where they're like, be your own bank. And they want to tell you half the story and make it sound great. And I get calls, and it's like, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
I probably asked you the same question, like, is this true?
Yeah, I've seen this TikTok.
But mine's more like, is this
What?
true? This can be it.
And I'm too candid to be like, oh, well, it could be true. I'm like, no, that's stupid. What are you talking about? So I think that's my business goal is I want to change perceptions. I want to be the person that flips that script so that people are no longer like, F them. You know, they're like, oh my God, this has a purpose and a place.
All right. So, I have my moments. So one day I'm like, nope, I'm just leaving, gonna live somewhere on an island. And the next day I'm like, nope, I want the Material Bar in every state. I want showrooms everywhere. And I mean, that's still pretty much the thought. I've been in a great relationship after my divorce, which has been like really just awesome, like to have like the right supporting partner, because it's really hard to be in business with somebody that's like, no, and you're like, yes, and it's just like opposite direction, right? So that's been really beautiful. So I'm really excited to like go to the next level, like in my personal life. And, but also going through that whole experience, like it's super important to be close to family. And my family is all on the East Coast. And I would like to see myself move closer to be with them. It's really hard to only see them like maybe once a year. So I see myself moving closer to them eventually, obviously still being around, and we travel these days, but also having Material Bars in different states and doing what I love and teaching that to others so they can just, especially women, I love just having women have a career and like be able to stand on their own and being there to like influence and empower them. So yeah, I see myself doing that, and real estate, building stuff, and all that good stuff. Whatever's the red shiny ball.